I really hope that we get a bit more of a... Shay, how you doing? X, how you doing, brother? I really hope that we get a bit more of a deep dive into blood magic in World of Warcraft, because I would argue blood magic in World of Warcraft is very much under sort of utilized or underexplored. Currently, I feel like there's no strong stances on blood magic, and I would love to see Blizzard sort of leaning deeper into blood magic. Maybe even figuring out if there's a way to give classes something to do with blood magic, which could probably be really cool. Now, in most fantasy universes, blood magic is either very much sort of shied away from or just straight up illegal. Like, for example, in the Dragon Age universe prior to Veilguard. But in the proper Dragon Age proper Dragon Age universe, it was very much not frowned upon. It was illegal, just straight up. So I would like to see a little bit more exploration there. I don't know how much we're going to get, but I do think if I look at Midnight, I don't know why, but the name Midnight gives me God's vibes. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like it's very... I'll explain to you why. In Ardenweald, right, we're told about how it kind of is about the seasons. You know, Ardenweald represents winter season. It represents sort of the end and then awaiting the rebirth. We know that there is a very strong connection between Ardenweald and Elune. Now, Elune is very much represented with Midnight, with Twilight, rather. So the idea of Twilight, the idea of the moon, very much Elune's space. My current theory is that all of the wild gods, so this would be the Loa, and even the wild gods that are not necessarily considered Loa because they're not necessarily worshipped by anyone. But my theory is that all of the Loa were created by Elune. That is why the Loa are not only created in Ardenweald, but also are rebirthed in Ardenweald. All of them. That includes even the bad ones. They all live in Ardenweald, and they all are born from Ardenweald. So I kind of feel like they might actually all have been creations of Elune. And so if you get Midnight, you're definitely getting Elune. If you get Elune, you're almost certainly getting the wild gods. So I would not be surprised if Midnight sees us doing more sort of troll dungeons, because a lot of the trolls serve a lot of the more evil Loa. Most likely fighting some of the Loa. That might be a big thing. Because what Xal'atath is currently doing is definitely going to upset the balance. It's going to throw the balance out of whack. And we know that when the balance starts going out of whack, there's a couple of things that happen. The first is the elements go nuts. The elements require balance. So we're probably going to get a lot of elemental lords, elements, and stuff of that nature. We know that the wild gods also do not like when the balance is upset. So we're probably going to get some of the wild gods to start showing up. This might actually be the first time ever that we get Elune to show up in the game. Like properly, not just the voiceover of an already existing character, but the proper Elune show up. The question, of course, in all of this is, will Blizzard keep us following Xal'atath? Or will Xal'atath for Midnight, and this is what I would do if I was Blizzard, I would actually not show Xal'atath again until the Last Titan. So I would have Xal'atath be sort of like the silent antagonist. So we deal with the aftermath of Xal'atath's things, but we're always so far behind Xal'atath's plans that by the time we get there, we're just dealing with the fallout. We're not actually dealing with her because she's already moved on and gone somewhere else. If they do that, then I think the Lost Titan, that really shapes up to be a very interesting storyline. With that, except the fact that the Winter Queen took incredible exception to the idea of Elune being in her realm. Captain, but remember, the reason the Winter Queen took incredible exception with it wasn't because Elune isn't allowed in her realm. It was more that she was angry with Elune because she thought Elune had rejected them, had abandoned them during their biggest need. She thought Elune turned her back on them. You could see that when Elune finally explained how she tried to help the Winter Queen forgave her, right? So I'm not, dude, I'm so confused about everything that was introduced in Shadowlands because it creates a lot of question marks. For example, if Elune actually came from the Shadowlands, which realm was hers? Or didn't she come from the Shadowlands, but they think she came from the Shadowlands as she's far older than all of them? I despise what the Shadowlands did to World of Warcraft because the lore of the Shadowlands is so cool, but some of the lore is so underexplored in the Shadowlands that it just ends up feeling frustrating. Because there's like so many cool things in Shadowlands that if we knew more about those cool things, it would actually make for very cool speculation. But we know so little because most of it was just completely abandoned, as he wanted us to get there so he could take us over. I prefer it to all this cosmological stuff that never felt like WoW, which I always think of as a more medieval type setting, but like with the Lich King and Wrath of the Lich King, you'd always be there at the end of each major quest chain, and we were always one step behind, and it all fed into the twist that he was getting us overconfident as he wanted us to get there so he could take us over. Yeah, I wonder if Blizzard might do something with the Lich King again. Did you see the video about the things all over the place in the Isle of Dawn? I did not. Well, Captain, you don't really need to provide answers in so much as if you at least provide enough breadcrumbs for speculation. That was the thing that Shadowlands missed. Shadowlands, like Steve Denuza really wanted us to speculate a lot about everything in Shadowlands. The problem is, if you're going to provide open-ended scenarios and there's not enough breadcrumbs to actually put together a valid theory, then that open-ended scenario just turns into frustration, because now I'm frustrated. It's like, okay, I don't know where the story is actually going, and I can't even begin to speculate on where the story is going because I don't know where the story is going. So you can, like, technically, yes, providing answers is important, but sometimes a well-placed question can provide answers in and of itself, right?